So this is a clip from Sky News journalist Beth Rigby on the 27th of May this year with Nigel Farage. And just pay attention to how much purposeful language that she's using, constantly asking the same question but in a different manner. Beth Rigby says, do you want to apologise to the public for failing on Brexit? Nigel Farage says, I wasn't in power. Beth Rigby then goes on to ask the question, do you think anyone's going to trust you again? Farage has to say again, I wasn't in power. What don't you understand? Is she an idiot? I don't think so. Is it really smart questioning to make sure that the left get what they want and the right look like arseholes? I think more so.
Do you want to apologise to voters for telling them that we should leave the EU if it was a failure?
Well, let's finish the sentence. Brexit has failed under the Tories. In constitutional terms, Brexit is a success. We've left the European Union. We won the referendum. That is completely down to this government.
Did you take any responsibility for some of the failures of Brexit?
No, absolutely none. I was very, very clear. It was about moving to an Australian-style point system so that you get genuinely skilled migration.
When people think of Brexit, they do think of you and Boris Johnson. You could get net migration to under 50,000.
But I wasn't in charge. The day after the referendum, the very people I'd fought against for 25 years were still in power.
Does this make the public more cynical about politicians like you?
No.
Let me put it another way then. Do you think the public might think twice about believing what you say next time?
No. A lot of this is down to a breach of trust between what is being promised to voters at elections and what's being delivered.
And a lot of people see you as the biggest cheerleader of Brexit. It hasn't worked out in the way perhaps was promised to the British people. But you won't take responsibility for that.
I wasn't given the power. I wasn't given the power. No. I wasn't in a position of authority.
So we haven't taken the Brexit opportunities. You made it sound so simple.
No one's saying it was going to be simple. There's nobody more disappointed than me in what this government's done. I'm furious.
It's so clear how biased to the left she is. Rather than using a line of questioning and bringing out a spectrum in the discussion points to actually give the viewers a clear view so that they can form their own opinion. She's not asking, do people not like you? Do people not trust you? She's saying, people don't trust you. She's putting that stigma out there because everybody that's watching this interview who is left and can't be swayed away, they're just championing Beth Rigby. And anybody that is on the right is just championing Nigel Farage to please, for the love of God, speak up and tell her that she doesn't understand. I don't think she's an idiot, but the line of questioning assumes that she doesn't understand that following the Brexit campaign win, it was then down to the people that are in power to bring that new directive to realisation. And it wasn't up for debate. It wasn't something that they could just choose and pick a way at. The majority of the public voted and we won. That means that the country had a new direction from that point, from the very next day. They didn't have a choice, pick apart the bits out of it that they thought they could just sort of push through and make people think that they'd actually got Brexit and will keep away all this other stuff that we don't like. You didn't have a choice. And I don't care whether you're left, right, centre, you should be really pissed off about that, because that means that no matter what you vote for in this democracy, whatever you vote for is irrelevant. What's relevant is the people that actually sit on those seats. They can talk amongst themselves and say, well, you know, fuck what the 68 million people voted for. Let's just do what we say is right. That's not democracy. That's, as an entity, the government as an entity, that's called autocracy. Perhaps even you could go a bit stronger and call it a dictatorship. Of course, after watching this, form your own opinion. You've probably already got one anyway, but please just watch the video and look at it without any sort of bias and ask yourself the question, is Beth asking fair questions to Nigel Farage? When she has an answer from Nigel Farage that says, I wasn't in power, I wasn't able to do it, does she change her line of questioning? No. So ask yourself the question, was Farage able to bring the promises of Brexit to fruition when he wasn't in power? Were the promises of Brexit deliverable with some effort? Of course, they weren't going to be easy. Can you identify, do you see the routine in politics? Instead of politicians telling us how they're going to go about doing this, that and the other as a result of what we voted for, instead what they do is their agenda is just to make their opposition look as bad as possible. It's a psychological PR stunt. Every single interaction we see online or in the news, every single time. It's never, I can do this. This is what I can do for you. Has the government, since the Brexit campaign win, delivered on the promises of Brexit? Have they even tried to deliver on the promises of Brexit? And are you happy that the government can decide to do whatever they want to do, regardless of what your vote is?